What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Joseph and this is my 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo. I purchased it exactly 2 months ago to the date, and I want to share with you guys what the ownership experience has been like. Now, before we get started, I think there's something or someone in those bushes, so if you see me book it out of here, that's what happened. But let's get started. So here it is, my 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo. I will do a walk around for you guys if you haven't seen it. It's actually a deep blue color. From a distance it looks black. Even from this angle it looks black. But it's actually a very deep blue color. It looks incredible under the sunlight here. It's got these beautiful BBS wheels on there, and this thing is an absolute thrill to drive. It's everything I imagined it would be and then some, and I'm super thrilled to be able to share it with you guys here on YouTube. And just take a look at this thing, guys. Just an absolute beauty, timeless design. I mean, this thing is over 20 years old and it looks like very futuristic. Nothing like what you'd see out on the road. But there is the walk around. It's also got the clear engine bay right there, which is a must-have in my opinion. And yeah, let me walk you guys through what it's been like to own this beauty of a car. Now, I do have a bunch of videos coming on the maintenance cost, the purchase price, the purchase process, and a bunch of other things. So if you guys are interested, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you guys know when I upload. But today's video is more about the actual experience of owning and driving this car almost on a daily basis. I try and get it out as much as I can, especially with the Chicagoland area weather that we have. I've only got probably another month maybe to drive this car, so I've really wanted to get out and drive it and enjoy it before it gets way too cold. But let's jump into what it's been like to own and drive this car for the past 2 months. Now, when talking about a car like this, the first thing you have to talk about is the driving experience. There's absolutely nothing like driving a V10 Lamborghini down the road. When I first purchased this thing and started driving it, I was shocked at the amount of sounds that were coming from the engine. Now, keep in mind, the engine is in the back of the car, obviously, and it's literally strapped to your back. So there's the driver's seat and there is the motor. This thing absolutely screams. It's a naturally aspirated V10 producing 512 horsepower, and the sounds this thing makes are absolutely incredible. Initially, I thought everything was going wrong. It sounds like a million things are breaking, but it's a Lamborghini. That's what it does. That's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like to drive. But by no means it's an easy car to drive. Everything about it is difficult. It's super low to the ground. The visibility is not there. It's not existent. There's no backup camera. The steering is heavy. The shifting of the gears is absolutely brutal. That's why a lot of friends and family think they can just jump in and drive this car. And I'm telling them, guys, if this was a Huracan or something that's a little bit more refined, I would have no problem with anybody jumping in and driving it, taking it out, enjoying it. But the problem with this car is it's super analog. You have to know how to drive with paddles. You have to know when to shift, and it likes to be treated a certain way. This car is extremely difficult to drive at a low speed. Traffic is the worst enemy for this car. I mean, I've been stuck in traffic a couple times with this thing, and let me tell you guys, it is not fun. I literally get home and tell my wife that was the most stressful drive of my life. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting in my dream car driving a Lamborghini, so I can't really complain. But the driving experience is second to none. I've taken this thing out on the highway a couple of times, and let me tell you guys, once that V10 gets, once it hits its stride, it absolutely sounds like nothing I've heard before. I was not a huge fan of the exhaust initially, but the more and more I spend time with this car, I absolutely love how it sounds. And a couple of people that I know and befriended that have owned Lamborghinis in the past told me not to change the exhaust, just to keep it stock, because ultimately it is the best sounding exhaust. It's a little quieter than I would have liked, but it's definitely got a roar to it once you get on it. And yeah, this car is an absolute thrill to drive. Now, another thing about the Lambo, every time you go to fill up gas, it is an absolute event. I mean, a bunch of people come up to you and ask you questions, rightfully so. It's not a car that you see extremely often. And every light that you come up to at a red light, people want to race you. I was just on my way here to film this video, and there's a massive Audi SUV that was on my tail, and a yellow light came up. I had to punch it a little bit, and the guy absolutely gunned it. And after I made my left turn, he put his window down, gave me a thumbs up, and had a little bit of fun there. But I'm telling you guys, every light, people want to race you in this car. And to me, this car is not that. It's not a car that you take to a track. It's not, I'm not necessarily planning on twin turboing this thing or doing anything super crazy to it. I really just take it out to enjoy it, to go out for coffee runs, to go on drives with other supercar owners, things like that. That's what I get the most enjoyment out of this car with. But it's definitely not a slouch by any means. It's brutal. The 0 to 60 on this thing, I think is right around 3 seconds. So it's definitely no slouch. But yeah, everybody wants to race you all the time. Now, one thing I will say about the Gallardo is it definitely puts smiles on people's faces. I feel like it's my obligation to share this car with the community, especially with the younger generation. I'll never forget, about a month and a half ago, it was right when I purchased the car, my wife and I took it to a car show and we stopped to grab some coffee, and a little kid came up to me. He's like, "Is that a Lamborghini?" I was like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "Can I take a picture of it?" I was like, "Sure, dude, do your thing." He took pictures of it, and he just stood there staring at the car. I didn't know what to say or do. He just looked at me. He's like, "Can I hug you?" I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" He gave me a hug, and I just thought that was a cool moment that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the car. So I definitely love sharing this car with the car community. And speaking of the car community, I feel like it's second to none. This car has been a great way to connect with other supercar owners and car enthusiasts in general. That's one thing I really like about this car. It brings people together. It's a talking point. You go to events, you really get to know people that are in the car space and that care about cars. So I really love this car for that reason. It really brings people together and gives them something to talk about. We got to talk about daily driving the Gallardo. Now, I do have a full video coming on if you can't daily drive it and if it's practical to do so. But let me show you guys the frunk space that you get. I do have a couple things in there, and I want to show you guys how quickly the frunk space fills up. So to open the frunk, all you do is let the e-gear prime. Beautiful. And there's a lever right here. You just pull on that. Come around here. And there it is. That's all you get. That is a duffel bag and some oil. Now, half of it is being taken up by this thing. The other half is being taken up by this thing. So you really do not get a whole lot of space in this car. But like I said, I do have a full video coming on if you can daily drive this car. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the bell notification so you know when I upload. Now, like I said, I've owned this car for 60 days on the day, so I haven't really had to deal with any maintenance costs on this car. You did see the motor oil in the front of the car. This car is known for burning oil. So every 2 or 3 times I take it out, I make sure to check the oil level and make sure it's not too low. And I make sure to keep up with that. I do plan on sharing the ownership experience of this car with you guys. So I will share maintenance costs and things like that as they come up. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you guys know when I upload. But thank God, so far I've gotten to enjoy the car. I've put a little over 500 miles on this thing with absolutely 0 issues. I'm super thrilled about that. One time, just one time, a light came on and it freaked me out. It was an A with a circle around it. I'm not sure what that is. I thought that was for the auto stop start feature, but this car does not have that. So I don't know what that is. But I turned the car off, turned it back on, and it went away. In Lamborghini fashion, it just throws the lights. You turn it on, turn it off, drive it, and they go away. But yeah, knock on wood, no real issues with this car so far. But make sure you guys stay tuned as I share the experience with this car with you guys. So let me know down below if you guys have any questions about the Gallardo, about the ownership experience, about owning a supercar in general, about the buying process. I'm planning on sharing all that with you guys, but if you do have a specific question, let me know down below and I will do my best to answer that question. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of my 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo. Make sure you guys stay tuned as I share the experience of this car with you guys. And if you guys are ever in the Chicagoland area at a car show or anything like that, hit me up on Instagram. I'd love to meet you guys. I'll let you guys sit in the car, rev it, turn it on, do whatever you guys want, because this wouldn't be possible without you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Guys, don't forget, don't be average. I'll see you guys in the next video.